The automatic weather reporting stations cannot figure out the visibility in smoky conditions.
You can proceed to the island.
Okay, we're in a hold over the island. Okay, I got a wing wag from the Chipmunks.
Okay, so the hold, not ideal. We're gonna have a problem spotting final.
My initial thoughts after getting through that was, I don't know if I can share this, because were we even legal?
It is pretty murky. What's it calling it? Still calling it 5 miles.
But seeing what they were seeing in terms of the glare on their canopy combined with the smoke when they're flying toward the sun to get there from Warbird Island, it was like sobering. They did not have a horizon.
I'll load it, but doesn't give me 3-6 right or 3-6 left.
So that was a good call for you to lead with that technology and bring those chipmunks in so that they could find the place.
We just didn't know if we were going to make it because we had the diversions, we had the weather, the smoke was coming in, and we knew if we didn't get here early enough, we would get stopped by the smoke.
Now, these fires breathe every day. So if we go in the morning, the fires are laying low. In the afternoon, they are breathing hard and pumping out massive quantities of smoke.
And when we landed, it was within half an hour that the field shut down because of the smoke, because the visibility got too bad. So we were very lucky to have made it, but not knowing if we were going to make it made it a little bit more tense.
And thanks to Juan Brown from Blanco Lirio for debriefing this one with me. So we made it late Saturday afternoon, and by the middle of the week, the smoke had moved out, and visibility was great for the first night show on Wednesday. But man, it was a difficult time for everyone that flew in that first weekend. Yeah, that's what we were up against this year. I think it was the worst case scenario in terms of the amount of downtime for the Fisk arrival, just because the field was IFR so much during that opening weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we had tied down kind of randomly on Saturday night, but spent Sunday getting the airplanes set up in a really awesome spot. But it was super weird being there on a Sunday and not hearing any airplanes arriving.
Right, so like Bernoulli's theorem, in order to go faster, you got to squeeze more molecules in quicker. And so traffic is just the reverse of Bernoulli's theorem. And so take the time on the ground at that last fuel stop, really stop and assess the situation on ForeFlight and see what the situation is like. And if it's just too crowded, just wait. You might, and if smoke is the issue, the problem is the smoke compresses the whole day. So everybody's compressed. All those arrivals that were going to be spread out over the whole day are now compressed into the time remaining. 4 out of 5 airplanes got turned around and sent to the back of the conga line. And that conga line, that round trip, was 100 miles round trip. So tempers flared and fuel became an issue. But that's the problem when everybody's trying to cram in there all at once.
Shout out to Scott at Canard Boulevard, who did a great job capturing how Fisk went this year.
Sunday, the smoke returned. We were IFR once again. People staged at airports nearby. I myself flew IFR into DeKalb, Illinois, and waited for Oshkosh, hopefully to turn VFR.
So I had a feeling that Fisk was going to be crazy just based on what I was seeing with the smoke forecast. But regardless, we practiced the Fisk approach with SimVenture. I highly recommend that for anyone that's going to fly into AirVenture. But this year we did have a legitimate excuse to fly the Warbird Arrival. So I arranged for a conference call with my AirVenture ATC buddy to help explain to Katie and Lisa how that could go.
The problem with Fisk is that you're flying longer. Depending on how busy Fisk is, you're in western Wisconsin. I mean, you're out there. And then if all of a sudden you're put in the hold, you're over Green Lake. Whereas if you do Warbird, any issue with the airport, you'll be closer in.
So now it's the night before departure. The smoke is completely across the entire region. So Matt and I flew IFR from Toronto to stage in Windsor at the museum.
This mask seems pretty effective though. I'm not really smelling the smoke as much, are you?
I get a bit through here, but it's manageable.
As the lights. Okay, so we weren't quite minimums, so still got 200 to go for minimums. Rare to need the lights in the day. That's crazy, so couldn't quite see the end of the runway till just now.
That smoke had been around for several days, but the next morning was forecast to be good enough to go.
Another pro tip I'd like to say is for you kids coming out to Oshkosh for the first time, get up early, all right? You've got to start your flight at dawn. I would suggest you sleep under the wing of the airplane so that you are up and ready to roll at dawn so you can get the most miles in.
All right, so it is 5 a.m. So we're just recombobulating the final bits of our gear from being at the hotel last night. Reporting stations are calling it 9-mile visibility here and in Detroit. And looking forward, it does look like our route is going to work. There is weather coming and there is smoke coming later, but for now it does look like our plan is going to work. I might need to go lend a hand. Yeah, that's what we did. We had to get up pre-dawn. Like, we were pushing the airplanes out in the dark in Windsor to go clear customs.
That's what I want to see.
There's going to be a much bigger story, but for now, here's some quick context about why we're doing this.
We're here with the Canadian Aviation Museum and also with FlightChops. He's got his RV here. We came in together. These are aerobatic airplanes. We're both working on aerobatic training, and the goal is to do the primary aerobatic sequence in the Chipmunk, which it's capable of. I am not yet capable of that, but I'm working on it, hoping to get into aerobatic competition at some point. And so that's why we're here at IAC, because they are aerobatic planes, which is awesome. I love that they're like historic training aircraft and they can do acro. So some of my favorite things coming together in aviation.
And I should mention that the museum does sell acro rides.
Yeah.
In these planes, if you want to have an acro flight in the rear of a Chipmunk, come on down.
Despite our best efforts with the pre-dawn start to get ahead of the smoke forecast that was coming to Oshkosh, we ran into weather that caused us to divert a lot further south and west than we wanted to, and that meant an additional fuel stop.
Well, getting diverted around Chicago for weather, we ended up in a little airport called DeKalb, and we were down there for a while trying to figure out, is this something that we can continue doing?
I ended up having to leave Matt behind in DeKalb. He just wasn't doing well with heat stroke and nausea, so this is a whole other story that we'll tell in a different episode about the entire trip.
We used PlaneWX. That was a pretty helpful tool. Some other things that we used obviously was ForeFlight, but mostly PlaneWX really came in and saved the day, especially when it came to smoke planning.
I seriously considered staying the night in DeKalb because I was also hot and tired, but the forecast for the smoke on Sunday was not looking good. And Katie and Lisa still had great energy, so I sucked it up and jumped in solo to finish the final leg.
I'm having the time of my goddamn life right now.
Yeah, right on.
And really, I've got the best seat in the house because I get to fly a Chipmunk and watch a Chipmunk, and they're just so pretty.
Yeah, right. It's awesome.
Last mentor I saw that we had 5 statute miles in haze.
Yeah, Osh just updated 17 minutes ago. Osh is still calling it 5 miles in smoke.
Every once in a while, I'm doing my normal traffic lookout, and I catch a glimpse of Steve and have a heart attack.
Sorry. This airplane is like the cheat code for how I can zip around and park it.
It is a cool plane.
Not as cool as our planes.
No, we're so much cooler.
I can't argue. At least having me S-turning like a maniac is making us easy to see, and I'm getting lots of great lookout.
Oh my goodness, what a long day.
So logistically how we did this was we had Katie and Lisa put their transponders on standby, and then I worked with ATC to get flight following and ran the squawk code for the flight of 3.
So I've been doing S-turns behind them just because I'm so much faster and it's keeping the engine cool. And ATC has appreciated it, actually, because I've just explained that we're a flight and I'm a support plane behind them going faster, so I'm doing S-turns behind the Chipmunks and they're holding heading or track, whatever we were assigned.
Now, about the smoke, visibility, what's being reported versus what you actually see. AWOS, or Automatic Weather Observation Stations, that equipment is not correctly set up to accurately measure smoke. They cannot accurately measure smoke. So it will give you a 10-mile visibility when in fact it may be down to 3 miles or even less. So it gives out false reports. Observed visibility on the ground, you know, at Oshkosh, if you're camping at the south campground and you look to the north and you see the far line of trees, you got 3-mile visibility. That's what they're using on the ground to get their ground observation visibility, which is much more accurate than the automatic weather reporting station. The cameras, you got those on your ForeFlight, right? You got a camera layer to see the airport cameras?
Yeah.
That's a great tool too. What's the visibility really look like? I just want to see, can I see that tree off the end of the runway or what?
The get there-itis was pretty strong, but I think we managed to stifle it a little bit. And
there's currently someone over Warford Island. I do not know if they're orbiting.
Okay, I'm zooming in on my map and I'll let you know what they do.
Okay.
And the other pro tip is know the mass arrival schedules and schedule your arrival around those mass arrivals so that you're not tangled up in that mess. Because when the mass arrivals come in, they come in from the south for the north-south runway, and the Fisk arrivals can be basically stopped in many cases for a whole mass arrival, and so you don't want to get involved with that.
And the VFR Chipmunks, looks like we've got quite a few Cessnas still inbound, so just when you get to Warbird Island, just hold there and I'll advise.
Understood. Chipmunks.
I can't physically see the island right now.
Trying to find a window to fly when the smoke wasn't going to be a problem was definitely the biggest challenge we faced on this one, and I noticed the PlaneWX scoring wasn't addressing it, and Mark added it.
I don't rely solely on PlaneWX, and you don't either. You know there are other things, and we're trying to integrate more products. So yeah, big gap that we filled, and you guys helped 114 other pilots that use PlaneWX get to Oshkosh because of that last-minute smoke integration. So thank you very much, and that's how we work with PlaneWX.
Okay, I have the island in sight. Ugh. Like, I have no visual on the airport at all. And I can see maybe less in the direction of the sun. Alright, Katie, directly on my 6, this works well for orbiting around this island. I would like to, honestly, I'd like to be lower, just so I can see it better, but we're just gonna orbit nice and wide around this thing.
Flying through the smoke, you're up in altitude, and your slant range visibility down to the ground is considerably different than a ground observer on the ground observing directly horizontally. So your slant range visibility is greatly reduced than that of just straightforward visibility on the ground. And if you couple that with a slant range visibility going into the sun, the bright sun, it's really reduced visibility. So you're lucky if you can see straight down. And you kind of want to fly low enough to maintain ground contacts so that IFR you can follow the road, river, or railroad track in smoky conditions.
We have the wind coming from the north, which means that it's going to be pushing me more towards the island right now. We're just going to utilize our foreflight just a little bit to cheat. I'm just going to continue to draw this circle in the skies of a Warbird Island. And I can't see down there at all because I'm in low wing. There it is. Lots of birds over it. Amazing. Don't come up here, guys. I am minorly pleased with myself at present. I should not be this pleased with myself. It is almost a perfect circle. I rock.
So at this point, it's starting to become clear to me that the visibility is dropping fast. It was forecast to start to become a problem after 4 p.m., and I think at this point it's 5 p.m. local. So I'm getting pretty close to Katie there, and Lisa is just barely visible up ahead.
It is pretty murky. What's it calling it? Still calling it 5 miles.
But I don't believe it, and I've never approached the airport from Warbird Island before, so I'm getting ready to think about how we're going to get in. So I'm loading the visual procedure on the navigator.
I'll load it, but it doesn't give me 3-6 right or 3-6 left, but...
Something else to consider is that I'm really tired. It's been a long day of hand flying S-turns behind the ladies.
There's my S-turns. People watching this track must be like, what was he doing? I like that they didn't jam more traffic into the hold.
Lisa's positive energy was a big part of what kept us going.
My circles have gotten a little less tight. I am mildly disappointed with myself. I'm surprised Steve's cylinder head temperatures haven't popped. Because I am going 90.
I mean, the arrival was a high point, right? Like, it was, by the time we got to the Warbird Island and we were circling Warbird Island, we knew we were getting in. And so just being ready to go, that was great.
Roger, do you want us to hold at Fond du Lac as opposed to Warbird Island?
Affirmative, yeah, we have some other aircraft holding at Warbird right now.
Roger, we'll hold at Fond du Lac, check this flight.
Oh my goodness, Steve is on a knife edge.
And Epsilon's use caution, we've got 2 T6s headed out also, holding over Fond du Lac.
Yeah, we call.
And disclaimer, I was not knife edge, although it was a fair bit of bank, but I wasn't loading the wings at all.
Oshkosh Tower, Cessna to Oshkosh, tail is on 5 mile final approach.
But you said 5 mile final?
5 mile final, Cessna to Oshkosh.
Okay, thank you. Cessna lead, or Cessna tail.
I don't have 5 miles viz here, really, barely. I'm going to be flying to my waypoint to get the final.
The visibility is definitely continuing to drop almost by the minute. It seems to be getting worse.
Tower, Cessna Tail, 1 mile.
Cessna Tail, thank you very much. Okay, my flight of 2 Epsilons that checked in a while ago, proceed to Warbird Island and hold. Use caution, I've got 3 Chipmunks. They're going to be number 1.
Alright, flight of 2 Epsilons proceeding from Fond du Lac to Warbird Island will hold, and say altitude of Chipmunks.
The flight of 3 Chipmunks, say altitude.
2800 for the Chipmunks.
Alright, flight of 2 maintain 3500.
This is it, showtime.
Okay, my flight of 3 Chipmunks, you can proceed to a 2-mile final for the skinny runway 36 right.
Okay, Chipmunks to the skinny and other RV, I'll take the lead.
There goes Steve. All right, Steve, all you, buddy.
On your left, Lisa, you got me? All right, let's go.
Yeah, brother. Let's go.
Okay, my Cessna, is the tail Cessna just rolling almost to the blue dot now?
Tail Cessna is rolling on 36 right.
Okay, thank you, thank you. A flight of 3 Chipmunks, so we'll change your runway now. Runway 36 left, clear to land, yellow dot.
Clear land 36 left, yellow dot, Chipmunks.
T6 is my flight of T6s. You can proceed to Warbird. Use caution, I've got 2 Epsilons there.
Yeah, second flight, we'll hold, we'll proceed to Warbird Island, we'll stay at 3500 until we get the Epsilons.
Tower from the Epsilons, can we proceed direct for the break, for the overhead?
We're going to left. We're going to the big one.
Who was that, Chipmunks?
Negative, it's home.
Proceed a 2-mile initial for the break.
Flight of 2 Epsilons, 2 miles for the break, and understand we're going to go to the right, 36 right.
36 right, affirmative, yeah, 36 ready to go to that runway.
Okay, we'll do that.
Roger.
3 miles and I barely see it. That's insane.
2,300 feet for the break, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Now to come in screaming. And lose speed very quickly.
Gas undercarriage mixture prop. Switches.
Okay, the flight of 2 T6s, do you need the right or the left?
We need the left.
Okay.
Yeah, left is best.
Don't want to lose Steve behind this bar. All right, I have a field.
Flight of 2 Epsilons on a 2-mile initial for runway 36
Yellow
right.
dot is the middle.
Yellow dot.
Another pro tip, Zoom Earth is a great tool to figure out where the smoke is and where it's going.
Do you want to look at that now? I think there's a lot of smoke happening in Washington State right now. So that's real time, and you can play the satellite. Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's real time. So here we are this morning, the 2nd of August. See these fires pumping out of eastern Oregon? Let's see. Yeah. That's in the evening. So let's go in the morning. Here's 9 o'clock in the morning. All right, you got pretty good visibility in the morning. You get that early start, but you get going in the afternoon. Those fires get cooking and start breathing hard, and blammo, it is smoking out pretty bad.
Yeah, look at that.
And then in the evening, it's going to die down. So we'll go overnight.
And that because the wind typically dies down?
Well, it's wind, weather, and humidity. The humidity increases, the temperature decreases, the fire lays down.
I see.
It's laid down in the morning until the sun gets going, the heat picks up, the humidity dries out, and kablamo, it just takes off in the afternoon. There it is, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, California time, and you can see exactly the direction of the smoke. If you get on the north side of this, you get in this nice clear space. So in between the weather coming in the Pacific Northwest and the smoke coming out of eastern Oregon is a nice clear path on home. So I really like to use Zoom Earth. Another pro tip with Zoom Earth is these coastal areas. Where's the fog at? And is it improving or what? You can get a good read on the fog on the coast using Zoom Earth.
500.
Epsilon report overhead.
Okay. Tower White Epsilon, still over Fond du Lac.
Roger.
What point did you see the airfield turning final?
Gosh, I think it wasn't until I was on final following Lisa that I really saw it.
I think about the same, but also I looked down and I saw all the planes just lined up, and I was just having a moment of, whoa, I'm here.
T6, proceed to a 2-mile initial.
Correct, 2-mile initial, T6.
T6, and you can expect 2,300 for the overhead. I've got an Epsilon in the overhead now for the right.
And we'll expect 2,300 for the overhead, T6.
Okay, and I've got a single Epsilon. You can proceed to Warbird.
Proceed to Warbird, white Epsilon.
White Epsilon, that's fine. I want you to proceed to Warbird Island, report there.
Okay, white Epsilon.
Holy. What am I doing?
And it can be very disorienting flying formation in IMC conditions, like air refueling or any of that stuff. It's very easy to get the leans, and you really got to trust your lead as wingman to smoothly bring you on in through the weather with being very predictable. And that was the good call for you to take the lead. You got the technology, and just gently and slowly come straight on in and get them on your wing and follow me.
From Katie's perspective here, you can really tell there wasn't going to be a lot of options to divert with these airplanes if we didn't get them down at Oshkosh.
Low wing, base to final, runway 36 left, clear to land, yellow dot.
Yellow dot.
It was a huge relief to know the Chipmunks were on final, and I was definitely glad that we were not trying to maintain spacing with all the other airplanes out there doing the Fisk arrival.
Roger, insight.
In these conditions, the Fisk controllers had to go to 2-mile spacing, which I think is super challenging when you can barely see an airplane that's 1 mile away.
Alright, girl, don't let me down now. We're almost there.
Papa 2, baby.
Low wing, short final, clear to land, runway 36 left, purple dot.
Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, there's definitely a bigger episode coming where I share the larger story of planning and executing this trip and introducing more of the characters that were involved.
Oh, damn it.
Lisa really wanted to hit that dot, but she was pretty close. Anyways, please do consider visiting the museum if you can get yourself to the Windsor, Detroit area. You can fly with us, and if you want to support remotely, help us keep these airplanes flying, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you're at all interested in aerobatics, please consider joining IAC. Huge thanks to them for hosting us. And until the next one, keep your flight chops sharp.
Woo! I need you to report Warbird when able.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, see you later, man.
See ya.
Take care, y'all.
So you got that on the OBS, right?
Yeah. All hour and 10 minutes.
That was an hour 10?